Alright, so we finished the drainage portion of this job, and now we're down to the patio portion. So right where Kurt is standing, I don't know if you can see, spray painted orange, that's the only spot where the ledge sticks up above where we need the base to be installed. So I'm going to attempt to rip it out with the ripper here, and if that doesn't work and we can't get it down deep enough, we're going to hit it with the jackhammer. So try this, and then we're going to get all this kind of scraped off, and then we'll get our 1/4 inch installed in here and start working on this patio. Alright, so we just stripped this natural material off the top of the ledge here, and Fitz is going at it with the broom just to clean that off so we see what we're working with. We can mark out if there's any high spots left. But basically the patio is going to continue from this corner straight out and meet up with the rock wall and then fill this area in. So once he gets this swept off, we'll see exactly what we're working with and go from there. Alright, we have our base cleaned up, ready for screed rods. So Fitz is going to put the screed rods down. We're going to start laying down our gravel to get our screed rods level, and then just fill this thing up with 1/4 inch. It should be a really quick base install, because as you can see, this is all ledge. Even this area, there's a little bit of fill in here. We'll pat that down, compact that in, but this is gonna go quick. This is a solid base if there ever was one. All right, we're laying down our 1/4 inch, getting our screed rods nice to grade. It's coming out nice. Alright, so we just ran into a really interesting issue. Fitz caught it. Thank God he caught it now. So what was happening is right behind the laser level are 2 glass windows, and the laser was actually reflecting off the windows and bouncing back at an angle, and we were getting 2 different level indications about 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart. So that left pipe was leveled properly because it must have not been casting that reflection. But these 2 pipes here, there was this rogue laser line going in through the airwaves, and we're actually 1.5 inches or 2 short. So Kurt took these 2 like couch cushions and laid them up against the door, so we're not getting that reflection anymore. And luckily we caught it now, so we could re-level these 2 before we got too far. But it was a good catch on Fitz's part. So thank God we didn't start building and have this wonky thing. So that's something everybody should watch out for. That's a first for us. If you got glass windows behind your site, maybe set up a tarp or something to block them, because there's a good chance that you could be screwing up your own level. But back to putting gravel in. Starting to lay the patio. We want to make our grade to meet that concrete, but when they laid this existing patio, I don't know what they were going off of. And it's kind of funny, like this line right here, everything on this side is nice and level, but when you get to this side, they must have run into more ledge, because this patio is a little lumpy. And this patio is like 5/8 of an inch higher than that concrete. So we're having to kind of adjust this transition area from old to new, and then it has that corner. So we're adjusting with a little extra gravel. Once we get out past that line, basically at the screed rail, everything from there over will be on a nice level plane. But everything in here is a little weird, and it's gonna look a little weird on that joint just because some of their blocks are so messed up. But we don't want to pull them because it's sand under there and it's on ledge. So same thing when we go to compact this area. I'm not going to run over those blocks because we run the risk of cracking them, and I'm not going to run over these blocks too hard because I don't want to sink them. But everything over here is fair game, so we're getting through it. So for today, we were able to get this portion of the patio done. So what actually ended up happening was, like I said, there's that middle section where it kind of came out. And after we built a little bit, it was looking really strange. And then we noticed in this area, like this section, so they had patio to edging blocks, like I'll show you over here. And I had these edging blocks. You can't see it because, yeah, edging blocks. So it went patio, edging blocks, patio. And when we took a measurement, it was going to be a really weird cut. And it just wasn't looking right. So what we ended up doing, we pulled out that little piece that was here, because remember it was so unlevel. And then we pulled out that little strip of cut blocks that they had, replaced them with what we pulled out of here. So that's all symmetrical, matches the patio. This is the same color, it's just not faded. And then what we did was we re-leveled that one area where the patio was already, and then just did this straight line. It looks a lot better. It took a little extra time, but it is what it is. That's as far as the stone got us for today. So tomorrow we'll come back with another load. Should just be a few yards. We'll get this in and laid. We got to do what we're gonna do with all the edging stones is put them on the outside. So it'll go patio, edging stone, and a little sliver of patio blocks. So we'll do that. We basically went through, it's like 1 2/3 pallet of pavers already, and these were client supplied. So tomorrow we'll come back, we'll get ready to, you know, do this with more gravel and make some good progress. We should be able to at least finish that patio off tomorrow. We got to do the edging and perma edge, poly sand, all that. And then all the drainage is done, so I got to finish this rock wall section and start topsoiling. Harley rig should be coming in next week, but I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. All right, we're back for the next day. This area, she didn't like the straight line, so we're just going through and staggering the edges of these, so it'll look a little better. Because before it was just a straight line where the old and the new meet. So we're just gonna stagger back and forth, and that'll actually clean up this edge because some of those blocks weren't so level. But aside from that, we got a new toy. Finally jumped on the Steelwrist pallet forks. We were originally gonna get these when we got the machine, or got the Steelwrist, but I was like, we're probably not gonna use it that much. And then we did all these projects, and I was like, you know what would be really nice? So we went ahead and we got it. I might be able to lift 4 stacks of pavers. This is, you know, 3 stacks with just that one block. These are not the max Beacon Hill pavers that we usually work with, so when it comes to the max, I'm definitely not going to be able to do any more than 3. But it's going to be really nice because I can now take this pallet and put it right on the patio over there, so we don't have to keep walking back and forth, especially for times where, you know, your job is a little farther away. So I'm actually going to put this pallet right on the paver patio there, so we can work right off of it. And then when this one is done, we'll have a clean pallet. We'll just unload some of that pallet onto this and just keep doing that instead of having to hand carry every single one of these pavers over there. Alright, back this morning. I know I got some really crummy video yesterday, but we had some issues. The client wasn't in love with this double stack of the pattern because it didn't really mix with this random pattern that they did. So instead of trying to wiggle these out by hand, we took a trip down to Pave Tool Innovators in Connecticut. And Kurt, you want a demo real quick? Huh? Want to give a demo real quick of how this baby works?
We're in release mode right now. Go into suction mode. Squeeze on the paver. Lift it up.
Look at that. That makes this a lot easier. So this is a Pave Tool backpack, and it just picks these blocks up no problem. I don't think it'll do the big blocks with that small suction pad, unfortunately, but we can do the square and the small rectangle blocks. So we're gonna go around, and basically it's this pattern right here, these two double smalls. There's something about that wasn't appealing to her, so we're just gonna pick those two up and, you know, shuffle them around so they look a little better. And on top of that, we brought back the generator because we popped that breaker yesterday right there, and we got a new blade. So this is the super hard concrete blade for the IQ saw. Should really rip through these Unilock pavers a lot better than the orange blade. So yeah, we're gonna get working on this, and we're basically done building. We're gonna do some cuts along the edge here. We gotta pick up these doubles and swap them out, and then patio should be done today easily. All right, like I said, so we went through and we basically pulled all those doubles. So Kurt's going through and just shifting over blocks just to make it more of a random pattern. So that might mean that he puts a small one on one end and a big one on the other end. Just to mix up that pattern a little more randomly. So this is something that you just couldn't do by hand. It's really hard to pull these blocks out once they're in place without some sort of tool to grab them. So the vacuum makes really quick work of that. Unfortunately, that small pad doesn't lift the big blocks, but we just have to switch back and forth every once in a while. We'll just do everything strategically, but I'm gonna start making some cuts here for along this edge, and they're just gonna keep on working to get this fit in place and randomized. So we got all those swapped out. It's looking a lot more random, which is nice. We were able to keep the majority of the pattern, but everywhere where there are those doubles, we just shifted things around. We got the cuts done along the front of the front doors here. So now Kurt is measuring out along this concrete, And the goal is to get all these cut down to the end here. We're not going to build any farther than this yet, because we still have to go down this side, put in this soldier course block, which is these gray ones. We'll put those in down the edge, get as far as we can, and then we have to do this thin strip along the outside of pavers. So once we get equally as far as where we are over here, we'll see what we have left for pavers, and if we can, it'd be great if we can go all the way to the edge. If not, we'll just cap it off wherever we have blocks to, because like I said, this was client supplied paver, so you actually can't get these blocks anymore. These are the small size, not the max, and they actually don't even make this color anymore right now. So yeah, I'm gonna make some cuts, keep on laying. Kurt and Fitz seem to really be liking the backpack. I just tried it out quick, and it's a different set of muscles than lifting pavers normally, but it does make it a lot easier. It saves your back. So and make some cuts and keep on moving here. So we're finishing up the last bit here. So we don't have enough blocks to go exactly following the rock wall. So you see our blue line, we just snapped the chalk line. So we're gonna make a nice cut, and this will get filled with river rock. So Fitz is over here sucking onto these blocks and bringing them over to the saw. It looks like somebody from Ghostbusters. But yeah, we're gonna get all these cut, installed, and then we can do our perma edge, poly sand, compact, all that. Kurt's just gotta touch up the two joints where they meet because it's a little lumpy. But other than that, we're almost wrapped up. I rotostarred through some dirt here so that we can just fill in the back side of this 1/4 inch, so we don't have to waste all the topsoil on that. I'll fill in this area too, but making good progress here. So the guys are wrapping up the last bit of perma edge here along the edge, but the patio's in place. We did this cut on the edge. Everything looks pretty good. We did have to recycle these blocks. That's all right. Client says it looks fine. So we're getting ready to poly sand and compact. That'll even out a lot of these gaps and make everything one smooth surface. The soldier course on the edges looks pretty good here too. So after we get this all done, I'll rotostar through some more dirt, and we'll bring this grade up. So like I said, when we topsoil, it's not 4 or 5 inches of it. It's just a top coat like they wanted. It's looking really good though. Well, it's Friday and the patio's done, but I'm not going to show you just yet. We'll be back on Monday's Memorial Day. So we'll be back Tuesday, hopefully, to start work on the topsoil. So I'll show you then. But have a nice weekend. I'll check back in again next week.